I'll now request Mr. Vijay Karia to address us.
Thank you, Charu. Warm welcome once again to Mr. Ghanshyam Prasad and my friends and colleagues on the dais. Shri Gopal Kabra ji has on electrical wire and cable thrown a very big bucket of ice cold water to wake us all up. And I can say for sure that everything that he said stands true, unfortunately. And he's shown ourselves a mirror, and I think very honestly and very transparently, being part of the industry, it is also very important that we are honest, not just with ourselves, but with the entire stakeholders of the industry. Yes, I mean, I would move on and say that there are lots of flaws that need correction, and I'm sure Mr. Ghanshyam Prasad is making notes of this. And I think knowing the government, knowing their propensity to act quickly, and especially two things which augur very well for the industry, for the wire and cable industry, because of the entire segment of the electrical industry. The wire and cable industry in EMA holds the largest share, nearly about 30%. And therefore, we have either much to lose or much to gain. But as I said, two things which augur very well for the industry is, number one, a few days ago, the Prime Minister talked about the losses of the DISCOMs, and one of the things which we need to understand is that if the DISCOMs are making money, then they can honestly pay more money, because as Sonal said, affordability is one of the issues of the industry. But I think with the first time we have the focus on the power sector, not just in the central government, but also across various state governments, and that's auguring very well for the industry. Just yesterday and today, he sent it to me, my friend Mr. Suresh Prabhu was the organizer or the initiator of the reforms of the power sector, right, in 2000, has written a very nice article on what needs to be done for the DISCOMs, because if we continue in the same manner, like if you keep planting mango seeds in the ground, you will only get mangoes, but you are expecting pineapples, you are expecting apples. So I think there has to be a fundamental change in the outlook of the industry. We people need to do it. Another point which came up and was very justified is that we had one product. For railways, this product. For airports, the same product. For power stations, the same product. And therefore, the industry was not moving towards research and development, and therefore, I am very pleased that this wire and cable conference that we are having has chosen a subject which is innovations and beyond. Now, I think 2-3 things, sir, Mr. Ghanshyam Prasad, I would like to highlight, which we as an industry would request that we partner with the government, we partner with the various stakeholders. So the first and foremost aspect, and again, Mr. Gopal Kabra touched on it. Sir, number of lives lost every day is 73, not 53. Okay. You were referring to some old data, and unfortunately, this number keeps going up every year. Therefore, the first issue that I have to bring about is safety, and we people being part of this industry need to focus on how we can make our products safe. And of course, when we talk about safety, quality goes hand in hand with safety. The other aspect that we need to talk about is standardization. And this is where there is a little bit of anomaly in maybe within ourselves. As part of the industry, I believe we are all colleagues, or either most of the people are very large stakeholders in the cable industry, either manufacturers themselves or big users, or even consultants, contractors, etc. So the second part is standardization. And as I was saying, it's an anomaly. Why? Because anomalies are that on one side we offer too many products for the same wire, like we have a PVC wire, we have an HR PVC wire, we have an FRLS PVC wire, we have a low smoke zero halogen low smoke zero halogen LSZH wire, we have electron beam cured wires. So we have a plethora of wires. Why so many specifications? Why should you offer so many different specifications? Because the moment you have various choices, and people who have many clothes or many cars always in the morning have to think what to wear today. Should I wear this clothes or should I wear that? Should I use this car or should I use that car? And this is where a problem occurs. When you offer a plethora of choices, it can be easily mismatched. You can have a PVC wire put into a box of FRLS wire and sell it off. The poor user does not know. Therefore, standardization of specifications and standardization of specifications across the country. This is one very important thing. The third thing, and I think all of you all will agree, that our industry is pathetically small. And why it is small? Because sir, इंडिया में जुगाड़ चलता है. हम लोग जहाँ तक खींच सकते हैं वो प्रोडक्ट को खींच के यूज़ करते हैं. अगर टॉवल फट गया, टॉवल को यूज़ कर दिया तो हम लोग उसको फाड़ के पोछा बना देते हैं. पोछा बनाने के बाद उसका और कुछ करते हैं, कपड़े को थैली में बदली कर लेते हैं. सो वी हैव द प्रोपेंसिटी टू मैक्सिमाइज द यूजेज ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स. And the same thing is happening in the wire and cable industry across the world. Within a period of 25 years, the products are replaced. I was talking with Rohit and Kabraji some time ago, and if they replace those products, जो आज aluminium और copper का price है, they will recover more than the cost of the initial cable itself, and your safety aspect increases. The other thing is that, of course, there is no other way of transmission, and we have huge amount of T&D losses, more of D losses, the distribution losses. Now, again, with the rapid urbanization of the country, we are yet talking about overhead conductors, bare conductors, or at the most we are talking about why have bare conductors, let us insulate them and put them overhead. Why can't we go underground? That's a much safer and much more cost-effective way, because ultimately you should not look at the cost of the product at that face value, that this is the cost. You should look at the life cycle cost of the product, and this is something that we people as an industry need to understand and incorporate first within ourselves and then within the minds of our customers. Sir, forget wires and cables. We are talking about the Central Vista project, and we are closely associated with it in more ways than one. We are talking about this project because it's a project which is very prestigious, and therefore there has to be a lot of focus on the quality of the product. But if you go across the country, and we are witness to this, that wire is one small part, that is the consumer part, and that directly affects people. But even the cables, the underground cables, the HV, the EHV cables are subjected to, unfortunately, to admit a lot of theft in the quality and perhaps also the quantity of the product. And this is something as an industry we need to sit back and ask ourselves that what is the motto of this industry? On one side, we say we are very large exporters of cables and therefore we compete in the world in quality markets. But the second thing is that is the product that you are manufacturing in the country equivalent to the product that you are exporting outside the country? And therefore, there needs to be a standardization of both these products. Sir, I know Mr. Ghanshyam Prasad is in a hurry, so I will not take too much of time. But sir, the plea out here from our industry is that we should partner with the various factions of the government, and not just the central government, but also the state governments. I can tell you for sure that this industry is keen to rectify a lot of things that are wrong with the industry. But sir, first, the government has to remove this aspect of L1. We have been at IMA propagating this continuously, that L1 concept, please sit with us and let's work out what we should do. The second thing, sir, as a CEA, and I would say that there should be some kind of pricing guidelines, that this is what should be the base price of this product. It cannot be lower than this. If it is lower, check it out. I'm not saying necessarily chuck it out, but check it out, check the quality of that product. It's not difficult to do so, sir. This will help in also regulating the industry. The last part which I say is that please keep stringent rules for safety, and therefore what happens in a fire, sir, is that a lot of wrongs also get burnt. You are not able to identify why that fire took place. 27,000 lives lost in 1 year in India. The next highest is somewhere in Russia, which is 3,200. Yes, we are 140 crore people, 135, 140 crore people, but lives are not expendable. And especially with the high rises coming up today, it makes a lot of difference. And sir, again, standardization, we are supplying to a lot of metro railways, to railways around the country. Every separate railway, even within the city, a separate line has got a separate set of specifications. So my request is that let's sit together, let's chalk a way forward, because ultimately, unless and until we as an industry and the government as a concerned portion of the safety and security of the citizens and there to safeguard the costs that we put in, if we do not come together and work hand in hand, we will never get anywhere. So sir, we are willing from our side. Now the ball is in your court to get us in and start playing with us. Thank you very much, sir. We look forward with keen interest to hear from you. Thank you very much.